Hey guys, Corky here. So after grinding for a day, I finally reached level 28 in Zenless Zone 0, completely free to play, and I decided to share with you guys some of the tips I've used and employed, as well as also some of the things I've learned when it comes to overall account progression. So I hope that this will help you guys a lot. And of course, starting with the account level, I know a lot of people are struggling to hit account level 26 so that they can progress with the main story. And the top tip that I don't see a lot of people talking about is to track your NEWBIE collection. And this can be tracked not just by chance, right? You can see that there are various quests available in the city. However, to get them specifically when you are running out of quests and commissions, you've done everything, that is to go to the map section over here. You can actually click on the NEWBIE notes and they will tell you specifically what time of the day you can obtain this quest at where as well. So this is extremely important and extremely helpful, and this also extends to not just the 6th Street. Actually, the construction area also allows you to have this quest, so you just have to click on the NEWBIE notes, and each of these quests usually gives you 150 of the EXP, so it will definitely help to inch you closer or even to reach level 26. And then after which you'll be able to unlock so much stuff that you will not be able to have enough time to actually finish, as you can see over here. And notably, you can unlock the Nekomata story over here that will give you 1500 EXP. So this is really substantial. If you haven't done the Sojo 11 yet, you can also go and do this. This is another 1500 EXP that will go towards your level 26. And of course, there are the commissions in the magazine notification area over here. They will definitely light up, so look for the word commissions and do all of those. They give a lot of EXP. Now moving on, next, an important factor in account progression is of course clearing all of the time gated stuff, and the first one I'm going to touch about is going to be the weekly store. So this bamboo store over here actually sells you materials that resets by the week, and as of this video you can see it's 2 days and 3 hours, so you definitely want to buy out some of the stuff here. I will not recommend buying out everything, by the way. The EXP, I've left it alone, but the materials when it comes to advancing your various weapons, your various skills, these are very important as well as for ascensions, so definitely pick those up. You might not be able to use them right now, or you do not have a character you intend to do so. However, it's good to pick them up so that you can save up on the stamina when you really need it. Now, another thing that you definitely don't want to miss on the weekly is going to be even more important, the Holo Zero, and you can find it in the outpost. Resets on the weekly and it's capped at 5000 points. So to get the points, you just have to repeat stages if you are unable to clear the highest difficulty. Of course, if you are able to clear the higher difficulty, that is even better, but just keep repeating. The points actually correspond to the amount of points you're going to get. So 1000 shown over here means that you will get 1000 over here, and this means that I only need to do 2 more of these repeated stages to cap out. And you can get the rewards from the store guy over here, Casper, and here they will sell you the rewards. This is on the monthly basis, but of course, more importantly, you need to get your currency sorted out. Now lastly, another very important weekly that you do not want to miss out on is going to be the Notorious Hunt. And for you folks that have not unlocked it yet, you will unlock it at chapter 2, roughly around level 27, level 28, depending on your progression. You'll be able to go on and clear this weekly challenge, and this weekly challenge has only 3 tries per week, so this is similar to other games whereby you are limited, because this is most importantly for your Asian advanced core skills, as you can see. So depending on which DPS you are using, just focus on farming that so that you can clear, at least get these materials, right? They are time gated, they are very important to your progression when it comes to your agent's core skills, which is ultimately a huge part of your DPS. Now of course, you might be also wondering why I didn't cover the dailies, because honestly dailies are pretty straightforward, right? You have your scratch card over here and there is the coffee shop that you can see on your screen. However, one thing that I want to point out for this coffee shop is that there is actually a baked coffee that you do not want to choose, and this is the new Iridu special. It gives you 0 buffs at all. In fact, it will warn you if you try to order this, so don't click too fast and order this because it gives you no buffs. The rest of them actually gives you the component buffs so that you can facilitate more efficient farming. However, there is also something that you have to note, is that if you can actually choose the amount of stamina you choose to spend depending on how many enemies, and the card only buffs 1. So the coffee only buffs 1 enemy card, so you do not have to spend 80 stamina thinking that you'll get 160 stamina worth of rewards. You will not get it. You will only get 20 stamina of extra reward. So this is something to take note of. And speaking of farming, I would like to also share with you guys how I spent my stamina effectively. And what I do is to focus on leveling up the skills, the core passives of my main carry, and also the equipment wise, it's very important to actually pull it up. But something that I want to bring to your notice is that I feel like the batteries are best spent after level 30. Right now, there is actually no lack of EXP as long as you do the steps I've shown you guys just now. So you can just farm using your normal stamina, it's going to be totally fine. Save the batteries for level 30. And in particular, I would suggest you guys to avoid farming too many rounds of this routine cleanup mission because it costs you way too much stamina for what it gives you. It gives you some of these drive discs, which are very important, don't get me wrong, but it costs you 60 stamina. And also, right, you can see over here at level 35, you'll be able to unlock the gold ones. So you really want to focus most of your farming efforts towards level 35 and beyond, but you still need to upgrade some of these purple pieces. But instead, how you can get them is through the music store. You can see over here, this will be able to target the piece that you actually want. And this is especially good for the pieces whereby they fall onto the farming stages where you do not have two of the sets that you want. So you can use this method to actually get the bulk majority of these rarer pieces. And how you can get this materials, so you might be thinking, hey, I can only get 8 of this drive discs, they are not going to be useful and I will not be able to fill up my whole team. However, if you were to go into your story mode over here, you can see that there are hard mode challenges and this gives you the material. So it's 2 drive discs per challenge mode, and this has a lot of stages, right? This is only on chapter 2 and this should help you elevate some of the stamina that you're going to spend during this stage where you cannot even get the gold pieces yet. But definitely have to upgrade the purple ones. So focus farming on the ones that you have 2 of the pieces that you need, and then you try to pick up something like the energy ones if you have it or need it on your supports. You can actually just pick it up through the music store instead. Now moving on next, I know a lot of people are also very interested in pool income, and I'm going to touch on some of the potential missables because pool income is important. You guys want to get your rate up unit, I do understand. And the first one that I know that a lot of people are going to miss is going to be the X boxes. So these boxes with a cross, these mini cargos actually contain pool income and they are spread across the city as well as the construction area. When you do see them, definitely pick them up. This can be also located within the commissions as well, so definitely check those out. Of course, the main bulk of your pool income is going to come from the main story, but I'm going to cover more of the missable aspects. And the second one is going to be the arcade. So if you were to go into the arcade and you can take a look, right, I do know that when they first introduced this to us, they don't really touch that much about the potential income. But if you were to click on the achievements for each of these games, in fact there are a lot of income. So if you're missing like a couple pools, you can just see how much income you can potentially get out of this. And this is just one game, right? So there is like the Soul House 2, there's the Soul House 3 group hunt, there is the Snake Duel. So in total there are 4 games. So 4 games, and including all of those achievements that I've already showed you, right, this can be amounting up to 10 pools even if you were to complete all of this. But of course, this does take time. It's more for people that are trying to eke out a bit more of the pool income to get that rate up unit. Now moving on next, team building. I do believe that it is a core part of progression of your account, and specifically the first tip I have for you guys is to focus only on one team. And the reason is very simple. In Zenless Zone 0, we have noticed that the materials wise, the stamina is very limited when it comes to what you can upgrade. So having more than one team at the start is going to be absolutely detrimental. And the second tip I have for you guys is to always have a stunner. You might not notice that a stunner is important, especially at the earlier parts of the game. But once you go on to the higher difficulties, you're going to notice that without a stunner, without the days multiplier, which is a 1.5 time multiplier outright outside of maybe Lycan with a 1.85 times, is so freaking imba. So if you even have NEWBIE as a free stunner, you're going to benefit so much. So every single team should bring a stunner, including anomaly teams. As you can see, I'm running an anomaly team, but I'm still bringing NEWBIE as a stunner. So very important having a stunner. And how you prioritize the resources within the team is going to be from the main DPS and then going to stunner, lastly to support. Support usually don't need that much investment. As long as they don't die, it's going to be fine. Of course, in other setups like this one that I'm using right here with dual DPS setups as well as a stunner, I had to invest a bit more. So I would suggest for people to go with a support setup like with Sokaku, whereby you can invest less of the resources into Sokaku and then focus more on your units such as your Allen and your Lyciot. Now also, right, I would say that pulling up levels is relatively cheap as compared to skills. So if we were to go into the skill section itself, you will see that each level up of these skills will take a lot of this advancement materials. However, going up for levels is not going to be as costly. So I would suggest pulling up both the levels for your units as well as the levels for the weapons itself. So the weapons is also going to be important because it gives a lot of stats. So even for your supports, you want to somewhat pull up their levels, but of course following the priorities. Now the support skills, I would generally say, even for your like MB, your stunner skills, right, I would generally say that it's okay to leave them at low levels. But another tip I have for you guys is to avoid investing in dodge, because usually you don't really use dodge. You can see, for instance, on my Piper over here, I have not invested in the dodge at all, because usually when I use the character, I will have the assist tags. I can do the assist dodge, I can do the assist parries. So dodges are rarely used, which is why you do not want to prioritize leveling them up in the face of limited resources. However, something that you should absolutely not be skipping out on is going to be the core passives. I consider them even more important than the skills themselves. And for the core passives, they are quite cheap, especially the earlier levels. You can see, right, for the B rank here, although I've already leveled it up, if I were to go into one of the units that have not leveled them up, you can see it only takes you 2 materials, and these 2 materials can be found with 40 stamina. So unlocking this is absolutely key. The first level is even just with 5,000 of the credit. So going to B is going to be fine. Even going to C is fine. This only takes you 80 stamina. So for some of your lower investment units, right, eventually, of course, your main DPS, you want to drag all of them up to F. However, for the lower invested units, you can stay at C, whereby they do not require the weekly materials. Especially for the C ranks and the E ranks, right, you can see that there are increases in energy regen, and for certain units it's going to be more important than others. But in general, energy regen is quite rare, so you definitely want to grab at least the C rank out. Now, of course, another important part about team building when it comes to your certain units is going to be your individual weapons. And for the weapons, I'll recommend going only for A rank and above. You do not want to use any of the B ranks. They are totally useless in my opinion. The base stats are so low and it really doesn't serve you any purpose. So the A ranks are also very accessible. If you're thinking that you do not have enough pool currency or you're unlucky when it comes to pulling the right weapons, then you definitely want to visit the gadget store. In the gadget store, you can buy various engines. Of course, you want to ignore the B rank ones. They are absolutely big. You don't want to spend all of these W engine chips. They are quite rare, in fact. So you only want to spend them on the A rank ones, and you can see it takes you 6 of this. You can actually get it from the weeklies, the notorious hunts, and from the recycling. So to recycle, right, you have to recycle the A rank. So depending on which units you are using and which 2 teams you are having, right, some of the A rank ones might not be relevant to you and you can recycle them. But I would suggest, right, to hold on a bit first to see which ones you really don't need before you go on to recycle them. And then eventually you do want to rank up this to 5 stars because they are going to be able to close up the gap between this and the S rank. Now, of course, while these tips will definitely help you out if you're a complete beginner, the important thing here is also to choose the right team and the right units to go with the team, which is why you definitely want to check out this video where I touch on the CN opinions on the tier list of the characters at launch. I'll see you guys over there. This is Corky Gachas, signing off.